Hey, you know what your problem is? I don't think I've seen you at Kenny's, the other Rogers music venue in Corbin, Kentucky. I should see you there sometime. We got some shows coming up. Here's some flyers for you. Some shows in June and July. I hope to see you there.
You got to come check out this new venue, Kenny's. This is Mayor Susie. I totally approve this message, and I approve this place.
Are you looking for somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky to host your next event? Here we have it at Harvey's on Main at 115 Main Street. Let's check it out. Step into timeless charm and unforgettable elegance at this stunning historic venue. With breathtaking architectural details and an inviting open floor layout, Harvey's is the perfect setting for your next special event. Delight in the breathtaking bar complete with tap, a fully equipped kitchen for seamless catering, clean and accessible restrooms, a beautiful elevated stage for speakers, performers, or presenters. And for weddings and formal events, relish in the comfort and privacy of the bridal suite. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large celebration, Harvey's on Main provides the perfect scene to create lasting memories. Thoughtfully designed by the owner, who will be by your side every step of the way to ensure all your wants and needs are met. Book today and let Harvey's bring your vision to life.
How's it look?
Wow, that looks hard, my guy. You know what's actually hard? Getting people to notice your business in a world where everybody's screaming for attention. While everybody else is posting boring ads no one remembers, we built one of the fastest growing podcasts in the region. Over 15,000 followers and climbing, and more than 65% of them right here in the Tri-County area.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. That's not just views. That's local eyes, local customers, local money. We don't make commercials people forget. We make commercials people quote.
So if your business is tired of sounding like every other business, come sit at the table. No sugarcoating podcast. We are not just growing an audience. We are building attention.
What if reality wasn't limited to the world around you, but expanded by the experiences you could step into? The moment the headset goes on, curiosity turns into immersion. Every step becomes part of the story. Every moment pulls you deeper into the experience. Designed to blur the line between virtual and real, this is more than gaming. It's total immersion. The best moments aren't just seen, they're shared. Step beyond the scene, step into the experience. Zone perception. Unlock your imagination.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Oh! From small town whispers to city lights, we're hunting the truth in the dead of night. Conspiracies spin and the rumors fly. Country Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating.
What is going on? All of the platforms that we are always on, except for TikTok, we're getting mad at you guys.
Except for TikTok.
We are getting mad at you guys.
We can't talk about no conspiracies on TikTok.
Yeah, we can't.
Even conspiracies that we learn about on TikTok, we can't repeat.
That's
Because they flag our videos. They take our videos down.
Well, so as everybody can see, we have Bill Elliotte here tonight.
Whoa. Sheriff Bill Elliotte here.
And from my understanding, you're going to start doing a once a month thing.
Whenever y'all want.
That's what I've asked him to do. Let me go ahead and explain that, Ron, if you don't mind. So since Bill was on the show, I asked him if he would come back. I said, could we do maybe once a month, just kind of update on what's going on in the county, what people need to know about, what have you been doing in the department, what's been going on. And Bill's been so gracious to come on. He's going to come join us one time a month, just to kind of give us a heads up of what's going on, what the future looks like, and everything else.
Yeah, we can call this like What's Up Whitley County.
What's up, Whitley County? There you go.
I just figured y'all were desperate. Man, we're getting desperate for content. Let's call the sheriff.
No, like we really never hear anything about Whitley County.
Okay.
Which is good, right?
Yeah, you could think it as a good thing, but there is a lot of people that always ask me, stuff about Whitley County, and I'm like, I've never heard that. I don't know.
Yeah.
People think that we are Laurel County expertise right now.
Yeah.
City of London, Laurel County expertise. We don't know nothing. We have no cats, dogs, in any of that.
And like I told Paul, Whitley County is my stomping grounds. I would love to know more about it.
Yeah.
What's up, Vernon Huff? So, first, congratulations on the election.
Well, thank you.
Ronnie's already done that. We've already done that, but for me and everybody watching, congratulations on the election. So has there been any kind of transition since the election? I mean, elections get crazy.
They do. And ours really got, right at the end, last few weeks, it kind of got more mudslingy than, so I just chose myself, and I try to encourage people, don't respond to the negativity. I've got texts and messages, just post positive stuff, don't respond to the negative stuff. A lot of it I have no control over, people, individuals. It ain't so I just chose not to go that route. But talk about a transition, if you're in office, there's not much of a transition. It's after the fact. If you're leaving office or there's a new sheriff, then that's a pretty I can foresee that when that time comes, when I leave office. You get all the new people in and the old people leaving. It
Right.
So there ain't been much of a transition since the election.
Good. So everything's just kind of maintained. Things
Yep.
are still going in the direction you're needing it to go.
Yep.
For the department to grow and everything else.
We're trying. It's and it never fails. You'll be short staffed. You'll get some people hired. It'll get where you think everything's running smooth. And about the time you get smooth, you'll get somebody, hey, I'm taking another job here. So, and man, it's hard. That makes it so hard,
Well, in your opinion, why is that though? Is it pay? Is it too hard? Is it?
I have my opinions.
That's why your opinion, not your professional opinion.
No, man, there's a multitude of stuff, and I think we talked before we come on air. It's just in general police work these days.
it's hard for people to get officers and to get good officers. When I joined the state police in the 90s, there would be 3,000 to 5,000 people apply for those 70 or 80 jobs at that academy. So I'll be honest with you. We was talking about this today. I had a speeding ticket when I was in high school, the only speeding ticket I've ever had in my life. And back then, will that keep me from becoming a trooper? And now they're taking people with other things on their record that they could have never got on with before. But the state police is, they're paying really good, and they're still having trouble recruiting. And, local departments like us, Corbin, Williamsburg, a lot of these small departments, if state police is having trouble hiring people, imagine how hard it is for these small departments that don't pay near what state police pay. So it is frustrating. And, there's some jobs here. I had a guy left and went to Williamsburg, and he was working at the college up there. And they work 3 12-hour shifts. They give them the extra 4 hours for maintenance on their equipment. And so they're working 3 days a week, getting 4 days a week off, and not answering a lot of calls. He went from, at the sheriff's department, our guys run their tail off every single day. And we're the busiest department in Whitley County. And we got the least amount of officers than any of the departments. So these guys can go to one of these city police departments and not work near as hard. And there's a whole slew of reasons, I think, but it's hard. And then we was talking about one officer, he'd went to London PD, and they just and everything's not a fit for everybody,
Right.
So we're not going to lower the standards. That's what I'm saying.
And I appreciate that. And I was going to say, we applaud you also for not getting involved in a lot of the mudslinging, because we've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
But, I don't think a lot of people know the commitment it takes to become a police officer anyways. Like you said, if you hired someone today, it could be a year before you ever get to put them on the road.
Okay. Yeah, that's another thing we were talking about earlier. If I hire somebody today, it usually takes roughly 3 months just to get them through the testing process, where we can actually hire them, like through the DOCJT in Richmond. And then we get them hired, then you'll start training them, and then you got to get them an academy date. And the academy, I think, is, I want to say 24 weeks right now. So you're looking at 6 months there. And then you'll put them through at least 2 months of field training when they get out of there. So from the time they apply and you actually start their stuff, before you get any real work out of that person, you're looking at a year.
And there's a lot of people that's not cut out for that.
You're right. And we were talking the other day, your real good police officers and troopers, or whatever title they've got, whether it's city police deputy or trooper, the real good ones have really good instincts. And these people that do the job, they can do the job. They just don't have the instinct. And when you get those guys that it just everything comes second nature to them, you'd take 100 of them if you could afford them.
Right. Well, when we were talking about it, the academy, that's 5 days away from your family.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a family, you're in Richmond 5 days a week. You come home on the weekends. I don't think people realize that either. They think they got to pass a physical test, and then they get to ride around and learn how to be a police officer. That's not how it works.
No.
That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm. I was fortunate. In Tennessee, you can work at age 18. So I was 19. I looked about 12, to be honest with you. And that's when we still had all those bars down in Tennessee. We had the Starlight.
Yeah.
My very first call as a policeman was a fight at the Starlight. And here I weighed about 160 pounds, looked like I was 12-year-old. And I was terrified going into that. And I'll never forget coming out of there. My buddy's like, I breathed real heavy. And he said, what's wrong? I said, wasn't bad as I thought it was. But, it's stuff you get used to over time. But things were different back then. February, I started my 35th year, celebrate my 35th anniversary, the 1st of February, in law enforcement. So I've been doing it quite a while.
Well, anybody that remembers the Starlight, it's nerve-wracking just to go to the place.
Yeah.
Even if you even got a scratch from a nail in the wall, you were worried to death.
I would like to answer one more good call there.
Right.
Well, the only thing that scares me about it is the pay. Man,
Yeah, it's
that's the only thing that scares me.
Well, I
you
mean,
do a
it's-
lot. You put a lot on the line for the pay that you get. You know,
Yeah.
that's for that little amount of pay. You put a lot on the line for it.
Well, when you're used to something a little higher than that,
Right,
it's very hard to take a pay cut.
right. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know what the answer is either. I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, dude, because all that revenue is taxes and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's how you can only give what you take in.
yeah. That's what I just a minute ago. The state police, their starting salary now is in the $70,000 range, little above 70, and they're struggling. It's just I don't think with today's environment and what we've experienced over the last 6, 7, 8 years in our country, people's just not interested in getting into law enforcement now. So it makes it really tough as an administrator, as I am in law enforcement, of getting good quality people.
And that's like the appreciation. Like when I was a kid, you know, cops were heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wanted to be in the army. They wanted to be a police officer, or they wanted to be a firefighter.
Yep.
Or a cowboy, and time went way by for cowboy. But I mean, those were the three things all guys grew up wanting to be. We wanted to be, but times changed.
Well, I'll tell you, and I hit on this earlier with you guys before we went on air, but it's all everyone do. My grandfather was chief of police at Jellicoe, and I grew up, lived with him, my grandmother most of the time, and that's all everyone do. And then when I transferred from Jellicoe to Whitley County in 7th grade, from that point on, all everyone be state trooper. And I remember got on, I always, even before when I started in Campbell County, I always appreciated the older guys that took time to invest in me and show me things and go that extra mile for me. And I mean, I was just so appreciative for that. And now I've had some since I've been sheriff that I've hired, I've watched grow up, and I thought, man, I want to invest in them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've found is the newer generation, it's like they'll have 2 years experience and they know everything, and you can't tell them nothing, and they don't appreciate you trying to help them. And it's that's one of the frustrating things about the stuff that I took, that I cherished.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't want that.
Well, no, and you know that's what it feels like. It feels like when you know you get into a situation like that, there is a certain level of prestige. There's a certain level of honor. There's a certain level of pride and integrity that people should have. You know, and they shouldn't. And this was said. You know, don't become a police officer just to get a badge.
Right.
Do the work. Hold that line of integrity. Hold that line of pride. You know, and that should be something that everyone that aspires to be a police officer does.
Yeah, you're right. I tell you what, and you know, I was trooper for 20 plus years. Well, I had 22 and a half actual years when I retired, but the job of sheriff, it's one of those jobs you shouldn't take unless it's not a job. It's a life. It's a life. I don't want to say lifestyle because it's all lifestyle, but I mean, it's your life if you're pouring in, if you're putting into it what a sheriff needs to do, you know. You can ask anybody that works for me. My chief deputy, he'll make a schedule and he'll say, well, we're short here. What are you going to do? I said, I'll work it, you know. And I work third shift sometimes. I work seconds. There's usually not a day goes by I don't work at least 14, 15 hours a day. But that's my life, and I enjoy it. But it requires a lot.
Well, especially like small town sheriff.
Right.
You know, small town sheriff, everybody knows your face, everybody knows you. You know, when they see you out, and you know, for me, I'm very prideful when I see you out.
Yeah.
And this was before the election. I was right at when it started getting hot, and he swung by the house. He wasn't looking for me. But I was like, Bill, what are you doing out here? He goes, I'm out here looking for some papers or whatever to serve. And I was like, well, listen, man, you got my vote, but I'm not who you're looking for. But I was really proud to see you out. Like this is our sheriff. This is who we voted for. And he's not at a desk. He's out here running roads. And I've seen you out, like you said, you were by the house a few evenings ago. And I'm like, man, that's not 9 to 5. It's 7:30 in the evening right now.
Yeah.
What is he doing now?
I was in Walmart back before the election, sometime way before the election, and run into a fella, an older gentleman. He's in one of them little chairs you drive around, and we were talking. He goes to a church I visit sometime. We were talking. He said, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I think he thought he was going to insult me. He said, I kind of like you remind me, he said, of Andy Griffith. He said, you're involved with everything. Anybody can come talk to you. And I said, he said, I hope that don't make you mad. I said, no, I'll wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, no. And that's kind of exactly what I was getting at.
Yeah.
There's some small town sheriff kind of pride thing when you see your sheriff out doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about.
One of the things too, and a lot of people don't get this in law enforcement. Oh, you're doing this on county time or this and that. I'll give you an example. And you all probably saw all that mess going on in London. They were trashing a sheriff's deputy for dropping his kid off at school.
I've seen that.
So if you all saw that, well, here's my philosophy on that. If a school shooter had started that time, they'd be glad that deputy was there in his car. And I tell my guys, as long as you answer your calls when they come in, if you want to go get a haircut on duty, go get a haircut on duty. If you got to stop by the bank and take care of something, yeah, that's personal business. Yeah, getting a haircut is. But what are you doing when you're in the barbershop? You're talking. You're in uniform. You're building that rapport with people. So if anybody gripes at me over my guys doing something like that, they just going to have to gripe, because I encourage them to do that. Because how many people you run into? I mean, well, as in my career, I've sat many hours in the barbershop waiting to get a haircut. You know how you sit in the barbershop, and I've built relationships with people in there. And then these people, hey, you may want to look at this. So,
no, you're like exactly right.
I like the small town sheriff approach, myself.
Well, not only that, if you are working as much as you're saying, when else do they have time to do that stuff? Right. Because they have to keep haircuts. They have to keep a clean look.
Yeah.
So if they don't get to do it on company hours, or however you want to say it, when else are they going to get?
Well, I mean, when the police come to you, right? So there's all kinds of people that won't take a drive down to the sheriff's department to let the sheriff know what's going on. But I tell you what, you get sitting in a barbershop, everybody in that barbershop is going to be like, hey, did you hear about Terry down in Stony Fork and what he's into? Like, who's Terry? What's going on in Stony Fork? Please elaborate.
And I'll even give you, I've got guys when they're working, if it's church time, I've told them, I said, listen, as long as you can monitor that radio, go to church while you're working. That's part of being in a community,
right.
And so, of course, and I hit on this when I was on here the first time. The sheriff's department, I don't remember the exact number, but it's 10,300 and some. The closest thing we have to tracking how many complaints or things we do is our CADs, computer aided dispatch, and we had 10,300 and some CAD events for 2025. So if you divide that by 365, you get somewhere around, and I can't remember. You ever take 28 calls a day or 28 CAD events a day? And so that's hard when most of the time you have 2 deputies on, or sometimes during the busy peaks 3. But sometimes, like the past 2 months, our deputies, like everybody else, their kids are out of school. Everybody takes vacations during the summer. So the last 2 months, we've been shorthanded. It's the nature of the beast. I got 2 off this week on vacation. You can't deny people their vacation. They're trying to spend time with their family before school starts back.
Right.
So there's just so many things, and Whitley County is so big, but we do everything we can do.
Well, no, I like I said, there's comfort for me if I'm going somewhere and I see, a police officer.
Yeah.
So okay, we're solid here, you know. And I can imagine the churches they attend are very happy that they're there,
Right.
you know. But you know, like you said, the stuff in London, them parking those cruisers and stuff.
Oh, that'd be a morale killer for a department.
That's crazy in my opinion. I know that you have police friends and this and that, but I'll just speak for myself here. That is one of the stupidest things I ever seen or read, that the city is worried about saving that much on gas that they're willing to put their citizens in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many that officers run at one time, but how many officers are going to be able to go to a call if they've got to jump in their car, drive to where their other car is, and then take off and do something?
And it doesn't happen often. What I'm about to say, it ain't happen, but it happens more, several times. I'm gonna give you an example. We got an officer that lives down in Redbird, down in that country. Okay. You get another officer in that area that's working. I've called this, hey, can you jump in your cruiser and head to him until we can get to him? He's into something. Or you've got one that lives Rock Hope and you've got another officer into something. You can call and say, hey, I know y'all get in your car and get to him. We're all going to go when the officer's needing help,
Right.
So imagine these London guys, they can't do that if they're parking their cruisers and you got to drive into the PD to get a cruiser. That's a terrible idea.
What's that? No, I
That's
agree.
a time killer is all.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I agree. Now, I don't think, and like you said, morale killer.
And it literally could be the difference between life and death for somebody.
Well, and what sucks too is they're so used to getting to drive their cruisers home. They're saving all that money on gas,
Right.
For themselves.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So now they're going to have to start putting gas in their personal vehicles just to make it back and forth to work.
Well, because it obviously it's a perk. It's a perk
It is
to get to drive your cruiser home. That way, and then be able to be on the clock as soon as you leave the house.
Well, and all your equipment that's an issue to you that you've signed, taken responsibility for, is in that cruiser. So you're responsible for it. And it's hard to be responsible for it when you ain't even got possession of the car.
Right.
Yeah.
See that's just wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild to me. So, what's going on in Whitley County?
Buddy, just, knock on wood. Buddy, the last few weeks has been very manageable, but for some reason, the first part of summer, our guys were run to death. All of us, it's like the amount of calls that was coming in, and probably the busiest time since I've been here. And we're always busy, but I don't know. The first, from time school was out up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's just been really slammed.
Well, I mean, you guys, how many people have drowned already this summer?
Yeah, I don't know about that. We,
I know at least 3 down there at Spillway.
Yeah, but we, man, we're always, and I may have said this when I was here before, Whitley County goes, from Jellicoe to almost exit 29, and from 92 west at the McQuarrie line all the way to the Bell County line, 20 miles up 92 east. And, if you just got 2 guys out and you're working, getting complaints. I was literally in Tattersall one night, got a call at Jellicoe or at state line. Another call went straight back to Tattersall on a call, and then from Tattersall to Gatliff. I mean, all back to back to back. There's a lot of driving and a lot of time, time consuming. A lot of it's just driving to get to where you're going.
And for people that don't know, I would say the Jellicoe line to Tattersall is a good 30, 35-minute drive.
Yeah.
Depending on how you're driving.
You're going if you're in Jellicoe, you're about a mile before you get to state line if you're on the interstate, and then 25 miles to the exit, and then another probably 3 out to Tattersall. So you're looking, 28 to 30 mile drive, and that's on interstate if you're doing it that way. So, and then to go back to Gatliff, it's a long way up there.
Yes, another.
So
back to exit 11, back over.
Yeah, so another 30-minute drive right there.
30 miles.
Yeah.
the frustrating thing for being a sheriff in such a small department and being so busy. Well, another thing, a lot of county, we're primary 911. The Whitley County Sheriff's Department is for anything in the county. So unless somebody calls state police directly, if they call 911 and we have to physically say, hey, we're tied up, can you see if there's a state police has got a unit that it's here that can take that? If not, it automatically comes. They don't call unless we call them, other than the interstate. I give them, I said, you're going to have to work the interstate. We ain't doing it. We're too busy answering calls in the county. So I make them at least handle everything on the interstate. So, man, there's just, like I said, we're averaging probably 28 calls a day if you look at CADs or CADed events. Yeah.
Well, and let's just go ahead and put a little bit more into that. How long does it take to work a car accident?
Well, yeah, depending on the severity of it, of course. If you get an accident with injury and a major crash, I mean, you're a couple of hours anyway, go out here. But just working a minor 2-vehicle non-injury collision, you got to get everybody's information. You got to put all that, you're looking at least 30 minutes on something minor. Simple. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just average that out. Okay. So let's do an hour and 15 minutes. 28 times. Yeah. There's only 24 hours in a day.
And I will say, a lot of our dispatcher will break for an 88, which is an 88's phone number. And we take care of a lot of things by phone, but there's a lot of things we can't do. There ain't no need to go out on, but if somebody calls me and it's something, we're not going to work a theft on the phone. You need to see that officer, even though we probably could well, this has been gone. We don't know. We saw it here a month ago and it's gone now. There ain't no way to figure out who done that unless there's cameras or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So but when you call, you're expecting to see an officer. And so,
right. No.
And so, but we get a lot of those are calling people, and you don't believe how many people call us wanting us to parent their 15-year-old. I got one or two of those today already. So,
and that's tough and people need to know the difference between a civil matter, and what an actual police call is.
And I tell them, listen, you're the parent. You parent and discipline your child as you see fit. I got my tail wore out when I was a kid. I still believe in that. But however, there's a difference between a discipline and abuse. Right. Just keep it below the abuse level. I was like, you'll never see me. You'll never see me. And if I know about it, my deputies, never arrest a parent for simply trying to discipline their child. And these children, you wouldn't believe how many. I'll call the police on you.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'd have called the police, I'd have got it twice as hard.
So it's funny you say that. So my wife and I, we come here earlier today because she needed to pick up some bills that we needed to pay. And so I give her the key. We turn the car off and the key's on the key ring. So she goes in there. I started talking to my son. I was like, oh, man, we're going to have to call CPS on your mom. It's burning in this car, And my son, who's 10, is like, Dad, there's no reason to call Child Protective Services. I was like, what do you know about CPS, man?
He's spot on with it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just kidding. It's just hot. Hurry up, Mom. That's what it was.
I didn't even think about saying that when I was little. I would have died.
I forget my grandmother, my little cousin, he's a few years younger than me. And she kept a switch hanging. Her TV was on. It was one of them floor model TVs, and had a clock above it. And she kept a switch hanging there. And she was babysitting him one day, and she said, and he ended up doing something. She spanked him with that switch. He said, "I'm calling the social services on you." She grabbed it and whipped him again. She said, "Tell him about that one too."
And that's how it should be.
I agree.
We should not be scared of us going to jail for trying to punish our children.
No.
Well, I mean, like you said, there's discipline and there's abuse. And I believe in discipline. I've whipped my son. I hate when I have to. But, I mean, quite frankly, he's 10, and these old hands hurt whipping. Yeah, we've kind of got past the point where our hand is going to do the job, you know? But we just now started doing that, and I hate it. But I worry. You know what I mean? Because, like, my dad wasn't abusive like you said that your dad was. But my dad's got me one time, and it got right across my back, and, man, it welted up on me, and I thought I was going to die. And he made a mistake, you know, and quite frankly, it was probably me running around him. You guys all remember having to hold the hand, and then the belt comes, or the the limb comes, or whatever. And we'll see, I was just running, trying to get away, and he got me right across the back, and I thought he'd hit my knees.
My parents' favorite thing. My parents' favorite thing was to braid them. Get 3 switches and braid them together and whoop you with that. And then when they come unbraided, they just kept on going. So you was getting it 3 times.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I think that's the line to abuse, Jerry.
I remember the worst whooping my dad gave me, and I can't. You just remind me after we're off there. I'll tell you what led to it getting worse. But it was. You look back, and what I did. You can look back, and I can't say on air, but as a parent looking back now, I bet it's all he could do not to laugh.
Right.
But he had to do something about it. But being an adult now and having kids, one got a kid in the 30s now, you know. But looking back, I bet he had to bite his lip to keep from laughing when he whipped me over that. But it was a.
Well, see, it's funny you say that because Jericho has a story. I don't know if he wants to share it.
No, the funny thing, I thought the same thing when I done this. My dad had a kind heart one day, and he said, "I tell you what, we was all 4 of us kids was getting whooping, but he said, I'll let you go pick what you get whooped with." And I'm watching my 2 brothers and my sisters, you know, they're going out there, they're actually getting switches and stuff, and I'm like, I get to pick. I walk in the woods, I grab a log, and I'm like, there's no way he's gonna hit me with this. So here I am, bright eyed bushy tail, packing this log back to the house. No, he hit me with it. He hit me good too.
Yeah,
that's not the story. You told us the story today.
Today,
with your kids.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of a similar story because you're like, okay, good job, guys.
Yeah, so my kids, me and my wife woke up yesterday, and they must have got wild because the house is tore up, but we found papers wadded up in the floor, and you know, my wife is a clean freak, but also a nosy one, so she picks these up and she opens them up, see what's in them, and it's plumb full of cuss words.
Now, how old are your kids?
9, 11, and 16. So they was plumb full of cuss words. So here I am, I'm going off on them, you know, after it builds up and it resonates in me, and trying to figure out who said all these cuss words. Because I told them, I said, even writing them down, that's just as bad as saying them.
Yeah.
You know, that's bringing it out. And then my older one, I didn't tell you this, but my older one, he was trying to say that my little boy was calling him the B word and stuff. So trying to put 2 and 2 together right there, and I felt like he was the culprit. I was like, well, if you're saying the B word, then you wrote these words. But none of them would rat on each other. I mean, they was thick thieves yesterday. It was, and at the point, I was like, I don't
each other back.
I was like, I don't know to get on them or be proud of them, you know, because when they're sticking together like that, you got to be proud of them.
Oh Lord!
So, Sheriff Grady in Florida, he always gives one of these dumbest criminal stories. Do you have a dumb criminal story that you could share since last? You don't have to say any names or nothing like that, obviously, but just kind of like the dumbest thing that's happened since last we spoke.
Man, I don't know. Nothing's hitting my mind right off. I guess one of the dumbest things, we had a trial last week, and they had offered a guy a plea deal, and he'd have got out of jail like last week. He turns it down, goes to trial, and gets life.
Oh,
I said, that's a major a bet right there. But
Oh, wow.
that's a big difference. He could literally be walking the streets today, but wouldn't take the deal, and now he's in jail for life.
That's wild.
That's crazy. So
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's the dumbest criminal.
that's
The dumbest criminal.
I seen a dumb criminal when I lived up here on Hamlin. I lived, in this area at all.
a little bit.
You know where the park is
Yeah.
right there? Well, at the end of the Rotary, there's a White House that's on the left at the corner. That's where I lived. Well, right above me was another house up on the hill, and they partied every weekend. Every single weekend, guarantee they're throwing a party. And I loved going out on my front porch and just watching it, because they get drunk and some of them would come tumbling down the hill and all this and that. Well, one night they got busted, and it was like a herd of horses. They just scattered. Well, one of them guys, he jumping over his chain link fences. I was like, man, that guy's good. I was like, he might actually get away. No, he jumped the last fence and just laid in the ditch right there. And as soon as he laid down, a cop come across and just shined his light on him. I was like, man, you're so dumb. I was like, you're doing so good.
Back when I worked Campbell County, it's back in the day, Halloween, man, they egg cars, they cut trees down, everything back then. And I was actually with another deputy. We're going through town. Our cruiser got egged, and buddy, we bailed out after them kids, and one of them run through a backyard and caught a clothesline with his mouth.
Ooh.
And took his front teeth out all over
Throwing an egg.
and you hate it, because, yeah, it was, he'd have got in trouble if we caught him, but you don't want to see no kid
Man,
he lost, it
that's
took,
a dumb criminal.
it took some teeth
Well, I
out.
mean, his pictures weren't pretty for a few months, anyways.
Guess get some partials or implants, I guess. But no, I hate it.
And them are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Let me ask you this. So recently, we've been getting involved with these internet groups. There's the 606 Pred Hunters, and there's this Eyes on Evil. Okay, now what these internet groups are doing is, and I don't mean to say that they're, and this is no disrespect to them, but they're not the Chris Hansen crew,
Right.
but they've been trying to locate predators and this and that in areas. And they have this little decoy, and they get on these websites, and they find these men, mainly men, that are looking for little girls and stuff. We went on 2 of their catches. Neither one was successful. But do you have any kind of thoughts on stuff like, because these guys just find somebody and set a town, and then they go to that town with this decoy and this and all this other stuff. And the last one we went on was crazy. Like, they had done it in, are you familiar with Happy Hollow in Middlesboro? Or Happy?
Yes. Yeah, I know right where it's at. Yeah.
Okay, this is where this place went down at.
Mhm.
And the whole neighborhood got involved for it. It was over and became a big cluster.
Yeah.
Big cluster. Trying to find, and this guy showed up and everything else, but he jetted out and ran, and they never did find him while we were there. But what are your thoughts on stuff like that? If somebody said, hey, Bill, we've been tracking this predator that lives in your area. We have all these nude pictures. He knows this girl's 14 that he's meeting and stuff like that. How would they present it to you, or is that even something that you'd even want to get involved in?
Of course, we want them off the street, because I tell you what amazes me when you watch these is these grown men, how many of them are not wanting little girls. They're wanting boys. I mean, how sick is that?
Right.
I mean, you see,
Yeah.
when you watch that Dateline show, look how many of them thought they were showing up for a little boy, not a girl. And I mean, it's sick enough
For a little girl.
for a little girl, and but for them wanting to meet little boys, I mean, it just blows my mind. But the biggest thing when you got independent people doing it is the evidentiary value of stuff.
That's what Ronnie's been talking a lot about.
Yeah, and so if I was to show up on one of them, then it's going to take time basically, it's one of those deals. Most of them you'd probably have to investigate all their stuff, get all their information. Be something you'd probably have to present to a grand jury instead of taking in right there. But we don't work much of those because the state police here has internet crimes against children, and a lot of them guys assigned to that are from here.
Mm-hmm.
And they've actually got an office they use at Cumberland College down here. So anything we get like that, just because of the nature of it, we usually we will call one of them guys from the state police that specialize in that. They do all the internet searches and that. So not that we wouldn't do it, but if we can at all, we give it to that's their job. They know the ins and outs. And
See, that's what we were talking about, because when we went on these with them, we were thinking, well, we're doing something awesome. We're going to document this and this and that. And so the first one that we all three went on, they had their paperwork and they turned it into the local police department.
Mm-hmm.
And the local police department reviews the paperwork now. But this is all happening the same day. This isn't, here's our paperwork, review it, let us know. So they review the paperwork, and then they tell them where they're going to be at. They're like, all right, so we're set up at this hotel. And we're set up at this hotel in Middlesboro, actually right next to Happy Hollow. Or I think that's the name of Happy Hollow. It was Happy something. And it's a housing project.
Yeah.
So anyways, we get there, and the police say that they will help, but they don't want to be involved until the person gets there. Well, that time the person never arrived. But the last one that we went into, and I say this because they're side-by-side events that took place 2 weeks in between one another. The next time we call them, when we called the 911, Bell County gets the call, but we're in Middlesboro because I guess Bell County does it. And then the police do come, but it was the people in the neighborhood had got wind that this was going down. And there were 50 or 60 residents all about catching this guy once he arrived.
Right.
And it created a bigger problem than it probably should have been. And then, so me and Ronnie got to thinking, and Ronnie's like, Paul, he goes, listen, this is one of those things where I don't even know that they can even get convictions on this stuff because of the evidence and how they're collecting evidence and how they're going through with these things.
Right.
That, maybe this is something that we need to kind of not be hugely involved in until they figure out but then while we were having our little business meeting, I said, I'm going to ask Bill about that. How, if they showed up and said, Bill, we have this predator, we're going to be meeting at 9:00 and we got all this stuff right here, how would our sheriff feel about it? And what would the processes you would do?
If we got called that day, hey, this is going down, that would give us time to review some of that stuff and make a plan. Hey, yeah, this is legitimate. They've talked. Here's his chats. We've got all this. And I ain't saying we wouldn't at all, but I was thinking earlier about just getting called to the scene after you've caught him there. But if you could get it, especially even that day, like, hey, we sat down, go through the chats. Here's where, hey, he's supposed to show up at this hotel. Then I would be completely on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's no. I just want to know because there was a time when we're like, I'm not really sure, because we only get the call after the fact. Right. We don't get involved with any of the chatting or anything else. We just get involved.
We're just there for documenting it.
Right.
And it's
but I do got a question on that, because
okay.
I know that you can't detain them because they're not police officers, right?
You can do a citizen's arrest.
You can't do that.
Detain them. So you gotta be careful on that. You can't touch them or anything, right? If they touch you, though, you still have a right to defend yourself.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Everybody's got the right to defend themselves.
Well, because
this dude tackled me.
Yeah, it speared Ronnie. Ronnie was at the door with the camera.
Yeah.
All right, so just kind of give a background. So the whole neighborhood's involved. I'm not saying that the neighborhood slashed this guy's tires, but they were flat so that he couldn't leave.
He either drove there on flat tires or
or it got
really
low
there.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they pop in the door. The guy goes in the house, and Ronnie's there with his camera, and he's trying to hold it above everybody.
The crowd.
And then the guy busts out. and spears Ronnie, like hits him with a Bill Goldberg spear.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. And here I am, twice the size of Ronnie. Unless Ronnie wants to be big today, then I'm a size and a half bigger than Ronnie, whatever. And I'm on the phone in the car. I'm the guy making the phone call. And I was like, man, I feel like I done Ronnie dirty. But he had speared Ronnie to get out, and then it was one of those things. Well, did Ron, what did Ronnie have any action he could take after that? But it was just wild, and we had talked about that, and I was like, man, I really want to mention that to Bill, see how he would feel about that. Have you heard about these vigilante groups doing this stuff?
I've watched a bunch of them. I haven't seen any locally, but I consider I'm in our area. I haven't seen any, but other than the evidentiary part of it, it'd be difficult getting called to the scene. Then you're gonna have to sit there and you're stuck right there that quick trying to figure out what's going on and going out. But no, I wish we could get all the perverts off the street.
Well, what confuses me about it all too is the police. Why do they not want to have an officer close by on standby?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why did that department?
Yeah, why does that
handle it that way?
department like they're?
Well, I mean, if we knew that, if we were expecting it, and like I said, if we got something like that and had time to go over it before, say, hey, he's going to be here at 7:00 tonight, give us time, then we would definitely have somebody in the area waiting,
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because the other responses wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made us wonder, like, well, are we documenting something that isn't being done by the books?
Yeah.
But we did go to the police department with them, and they had passed off the information, but it was pretty wild.
Well, we actually have footage of us at the police department.
Yeah. But yeah, but I was wondering what your thoughts on that was, because they've been working their way in this direction, and I was like, man, I don't know how you would want to present it to you or whatever, if there was a chain that it needed to go through.
It just drives me. It's just amazing to me how many of these people are out there.
Yes.
And if you caught one, there's 100 or more that ain't got caught. And so,
man, they caught like 13 in 1 month.
Wow.
And the professions of these folks, like, these are trusted individuals.
Yeah.
Like, there was the guy in Laurel County, the police officer, or no, not the school.
Yeah, the school
that worked with the handicapped and stuff. That was he convicted yet?
I'm not sure.
I haven't seen that one.
Well, he was caught last month.
You're talking about the one the lady in Barville was selling her
kid to? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's messed up.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have these people in these trusted positions.
Mm-hmm.
But in their mind, if I was a predator, where would I want to be?
Right.
I'd want to be where all the kids are. Right?
That's true. But it makes you think, though, like, did being around all them kids turn him that way? Yeah. Or was he already that way?
No, I don't think so.
I think that you're that way, from the start.
Just being around the kids brought it out of him more.
I think you targeted that profession.
Probably. It's just hard to try to put your mind in someone's mind like that.
Well, you're trying to think of it from your own mindset.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hard to fathom because we don't think that way. But when you think of the way they are and how they act, and I did that for several years to study human nature, analyze them.
When I retired, I went to work for Corbin here as school resource officer. And most of that time I was there a little over 4 years. So about 2.5 years I was in the high school. And the other 2 years I was at the middle school most of the time. But even these kids graduating, seniors graduating, these little girls, they look like little girls. And for a man, any man that can look at this little girl and get something out of that, there's something wrong with them. I mean,
Are you talking about the kids graduating school?
yeah, even those. I mean, because they're, to me, looking back, which they still look like little kids to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they do.
And so for some of these men to target even kids younger than that, I mean, they got to be something.
Well, I'm going to say something's going to piss a lot of people off. Like you said, these 18-year-olds, 17, 18-year-olds graduating look like little girls.
Yeah, they don't
And
look
then
like.
they go to these proms. And some of them, their parents find the most scantily clad thing.
Ain't it amazing?
It is amazing, right?
And we'll look at some of them and have discussions like, I know their parents. Why are they letting them dress
that way?
That
right.
way, because you know their parents. You know they come from a good home, but you're like, oh my goodness, I wouldn't let my daughter dress.
I wouldn't let my daughter out like that.
No.
And I mean, obviously, I'm not saying anything other than it gets attention. It gets attention from people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that was their intention or anything else. I want to be very careful how I say that because people twist words.
They do.
Trust
me, I know.
Yeah,
just went through an election.
But it gets attention when young women.
It's the wrong type of attention.
It's the wrong type of attention. Yeah. And I'm not saying that that's the attention that these people want or that that's what they had in mind. However, it does. Because like you said, I've been going. I live by the Corbin Center, and that's where they have a lot of their proms and stuff. And I've seen some of these ladies going to prom when I'm out eating or whatever, and I think, my goodness. And I DJ, and I'm thinking, my goodness, there is no way I would let my middle school daughter wear this stuff.
Right. I very rarely leave the house with my kneecap showing, So,
but no, again, I think that people are always have always been like that, and they try to put themselves in a position where they can be around children. Yeah, that's a tough situation.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for them.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah, no.
Me neither. So when we get back from the break, we're going to be talking about the department.
Wow.
Went by pretty quick, huh?
It did.
When we get back from the break, we're going to be talking about the department, what all you'd like to achieve in this 4 years now that we can actually say that you're locked down for it. Because before we were like, I'd like to see this. If I get elected again, this is what we're going to work toward. We're going to talk about some of that and just kind of share some stories. Because, I think people really enjoyed you sharing the stories you shared last time. I think that people don't get to see that side of firsthand account to some of the things that you and other police officers have to deal with on the day-to-day basis.
All right.
So, Roddy, you want to go ahead and take us out? We'll come back shortly.
Hey, you know what your problem is? I don't think I've seen you at Kenny's, the other Rogers music venue in Corbin, Kentucky. I should see you there sometime. We got some shows coming up. Here's some flyers for you. Some shows in June and July. I hope to see you there.
You got to come check out this new venue, Kenny's. This is Mayor Susie. I totally approve this message and I approve this place.
Are you looking for somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky to host your next event? Here we have it at Harvey's on Main at 115 Main Street. Let's check it out. Step into timeless charm and unforgettable elegance at this stunning historic venue. With breathtaking architectural details and an inviting open floor layout, Harvey's is the perfect setting for your next special event. Delight in the breathtaking bar complete with tap, a fully equipped kitchen for seamless catering, clean and accessible restrooms, a beautiful elevated stage for speakers, performers, or presenters, and for weddings and formal events, relish in the comfort and privacy of the bridal suite. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large celebration, Harvey's on Main provides the perfect scene to create lasting memories. Thoughtfully designed by the owner, who will be by your side every step of the way to ensure all your wants and needs are met. Book today and let Harvey's bring your vision to life.
How's it look?
Wow, that looks hard, my guy. You know what's actually hard? Getting people to notice your business in a world where everybody's screaming for attention. While everybody else is posting boring ads no one remembers, we built one of the fastest growing podcasts in the region. Over 15,000 followers and climbing, and more than 65% of them right here in the Tri-County area.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. That's not just views. That's local eyes, local customers, local money. We don't make commercials people forget. We make commercials people quote.
So if your business is tired of sounding like every other business, come sit at the table. No sugarcoating podcast. We are not just growing an audience. We are building attention.
What if reality wasn't limited to the world around you, but expanded by the experiences you could step into? The moment the headset goes on, curiosity turns into immersion. Every step becomes part of the story. Every moment pulls you deeper into the experience. Designed to blur the line between virtual and real, this is more than gaming. It's total immersion. The best moments aren't just seen, they're shared. Step beyond the scene. Step into the experience. Zone perception. Unlock your imagination.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. From small town whispers to city lights, we're hunting the truth in the dead of night. Conspiracies spin and the rumors fly. Country Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating. What is going on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify? Not TikTok.
Screw you.
We are here with Sheriff Bill Elliotte, Whitley County Sheriff Bill Elliotte. We've had a great first hour. Before we get into our next hour, we got to spin the wheel like we always do. He wanted to send out a big thank you to my mother, the only vote that he got. I assured him that she voted for him in May also.
So I got to spin this now.
Yep. What is it, Jericho?
Say an unpopular opinion and defend it like you're in court.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's like the perfect one for you.
Well, I guess the unpopular, maybe not for this area as much, but I'm a Republican. I'm proud of it, and I'm going to defend it because I don't believe in all this left-wing garbage that people's taken for the stuff we would have been ashamed of back day. People was wearing with a badge of honor now. So
explain to us what left wing you're talking about.
Let's not get into too much. Jericho's always a pot stirrer. He always a pot stirrer.
You name it. I'm being serious. It's funny, but we start this being funny, but it is serious. You look at the world today and stuff it's being accepted as popular now.
That would never been thought of 10 years ago.
No, and that's that stuff drives me crazy. And you'll hear people and they'll say, "I'm voting this way because of this," and I'm like, "How in the world can you support this stuff?" So I guess that's my most unpopular.
Let me tell you, when I graduated 2002, nobody ever talked about a cat box in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those. In my opinion, that's the left stuff that really gets to me.
Yeah. When
people say that they are animals, that they want to be treated like an animal, like cats and all this other stuff. That stuff kind of bothers me. I get people confused about what their gender is.
It's one thing in the bedroom.
Yeah. I don't know what year you graduated, Roddy.
Well, we know what his kinks are now.
Oh, Lord.
They can do what they want behind closed doors, but not in the public.
Yeah, that's how you probably should have said that, right?
Yeah, he's like, let me rip that tail off.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. That stuff's, again, let me get back to where I was at. I get people being confused. I get that. I don't agree with people being confused, but I get that some people are. I know people that are great people that are just
we're accepting
in different ways.
Stuff, mental illness. There's a lot of stuff's mental illness, I believe, and
we're accepting it today as if it's normal.
Yeah.
And that's where we're messing up.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
Well, I've been thinking a lot of stuff too, though. Like, so a woman can get an abortion because.
Oh, you're on a hot topic, Jericho.
I know. Yes, I know.
Bill,
we shouldn't be afraid. No, we shouldn't be afraid to defend our where we stand on this.
Yeah, I mean, a woman can get an abortion because she cannot take care of it financially and stuff, and it's okay. But a man walks away from it, and he's bad. He's got to pay child support and stuff.
Well, see, I'm on a different end of that. I'm just anti-abortion totally. I think that there are people that love kids, that want kids, that can't have kids. I say that to also say that system's pretty messed up. But I don't feel like any man should walk away from a kid. Period. That he.
I don't neither.
So let me just say that I don't.
If you create a life, you should raise that life.
I agree.
I saw a thing today just that.
I love how you said that at the same time. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It brought. I saw a video today or yesterday evening or today. It's funny that this came up, but it's where they go out on the street, and it was a Charlie Kirk. It may have been one of his videos. I think it was. We're talking as females talking about the abortion, and it's like, well, should a man, if it's his child, he should have to consent
Along with you.
with you. You shouldn't be able. Should he be able to do it? Well, I ought to be able to make that decision. So, I mean, that's a hot topic. As far as I'm concerned, it was settled over 2,000 years ago. It's murder, so that's where I stand on it.
Well, see, I agree.
I do too. I was just, the hypocrisy of it. A lot of women is okay with getting the abortion because they can't take care of it, but the same woman will put that man on child support if he walks away from it.
Well, and he should be.
Yeah.
He should be in the life. And I speak as somebody that went through a divorce, so I never had any kind of issues making sure that my child was taken.
I've got the solution for child support.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Child support's based on your income, yours and your wife's income. And I'm just going to throw round numbers out there. Let's say your all's household income's based on $100,000. You make $65,000 a year. She makes $35,000 a year. When it comes to child support, she'd have to pay 35%, where you'd have to pay 60%. It's not necessarily exactly right, but something to that effect. My thing is, okay, let's make both pay child support and put it in a joint account, and you both got debit cards for that account, and you have to, just like you do your taxes, at the end of the year, you've got to reconcile that. So if both of you are having to pay, that money's going to the kid because you got to provide receipts, just like your taxes every year. You got to have your income or your child support. Did they spend this on the right things? And it would cut out a lot of that foolishness if you both had to pay.
I've never heard it put like that, but that.
I mean, if you both have a debit card to that same account and whatever you needed for the kids you bought, it would do away with a lot of unknown spending. And at the end of the year, you'd have to reconcile an account for everything you spent. Both parties would.
Well, see, and you're not wrong, because that's another hot topic. There's a lot of single moms or single dads that get these child support payments. Both of them. I'm not saying any sex is any worse than the other, but you see, if dad gets it, then maybe he's bought himself some new shoes. If mom gets it, maybe she's got herself a new nails, a new hair, and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, no, that money wasn't for that. That's not what that money was for.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to use this money to take care of them. The argument is, well, because I had this money, I didn't have to spend my own money for this. And I could spend my own money for the child.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Bottom line, everybody just needs to take care of their kids.
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree.
They really do.
We see kids, and let me tell you, I got a great working relationship with our social workers in Whitley County. I hadn't been in office a few months, and they brought me this plaque over there to hang on my wall because I helped them so much. We started working good with them, and you can ask any of them. We got a great working relationship, and it's not their fault. What I'm about to say is not their fault, but we go in so many homes on calls that are just, these houses are filthy and this and that. And that's considered through social services as a lifestyle choice. Well, it is a choice for the adults, but these kids don't have a choice in what they're living in.
Right.
And so that's and it ain't the social workers, it's the system they worked for. So
right. And that's a broken system.
It's a broken system. And we got wonderful social workers here. I go on calls with all of them. I don't know how many different ones I go on. They're willing to help. That's why I'm willing to help them. And I can't say enough good about them. And they sit in court all day over there Mondays and Tuesdays. And so nothing I said is against them. It's against the system. But when you see these kids, some of the houses we go into, and you're thinking, man, this is awful. They say, well, they got food. They got, they got the essentials. It's a lifestyle choice. And I do agree. It is for the adult. It is a choice for the adult, but not their children, you know.
And that's,
who came up with the lifestyle choice thing?
Somebody out of Frankfurt, I'm assuming, but you know,
because they can't even. I remember in school, and I'm sure it was that way with you and Jericho even. They did lice checks and stuff.
Oh,
They'd
yeah.
send you home if you had lice. Now they can't do that because they say it's a lifestyle choice.
really?
and I see.
Yeah, and it's not my lifestyle choice, but you're setting that child next to my child.
They'll inform all the other parents that someone may have lice, and you need to possibly treat your kid if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they won't send them home. Though.
I see. You don't know how many times I see our social workers struggling, trying to come up with reasons, legitimate legal reasons to remove these kids. And like I said, we got a great bunch of social workers, but their hands are tied in so many ways. Just like in law enforcement, on certain things, your hands are tied. You know.
Well, see, we'd had a conversation about this on the podcast a couple months ago. When Kenny was here, when we were talking about, you know, social work and how, you know, you see some parents that should never get their kids back, and they always do, it feels like.
Yeah.
But then you got the parents that made a mistake or done something that they shouldn't have. And Jericho even shared a story about a time that there was a mistake that was made, and he lost his son for a weekend.
No, we lost him for a couple months, but I was kicked out of the house for a weekend.
Yeah.
And it was because his was because there was a button that got hung on the child's shirt. When Jericho tried to take the shirt off, it had left a print on the child's neck.
Tiny. Like that.
And the teacher asked the kid what happened, and
he said, "Daddy choked me."
And Jericho did kind of. He choked him when he took the shirt off. He didn't have his hands around his neck choking him or whatever, but it was a big deal for Jericho and his family and stuff like that. And you know, obviously, you know, that's not the field you're in, but right. When we kind of mention it, it's one of those things where, like you said, their hands are tied on a lot of things.
I tell you, two of the most misused systems in the judicial system here that I see locally is the emergency protective orders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go swear one out, it's the person swearing them out on you. And so those are called emergency protective orders. The judge gets them, reads them. If they find probable cause, they sign them. We have to go and serve them, and they could be totally made up. And it's like, then they go to court, and we see it all the time. They'll go to court and say, I want to drop this. Well, at some point they ought to have to answer, why are you wanting to drop this? You've done this. You've kept him away from his house and his kids for 2 weeks. We see it, and don't get me wrong, we got to have an EPO process because they are legitimate. And
right.
But I see that system misused so much. And the other system I see misused so much is the, we call it a 202A, the mental petitions that you can go swear on a family member.
Mm-hmm.
And it's misused. We've got one, I think, we got the other day, and I don't even know what happened to it. It's the fourth one in probably 4 or 5 months. And
same individual.
Same. And here's the problem. They're not intended for people on drugs. If they're for people with mental problems. So what happens? They're on drugs. They're out of their mind. They go take a mental petition. But every one of those we get, we have to physically go out and pick up. We have to take them, have them evaluated. And then if they're committed, then we have to drive them to wherever that is. And it's usually Hazard or Harlan. Yeah. One of those two that we have to drive them to. And so you can see, again, it's a good system if it's used properly, but that's the two most misused systems I see in Whitley County, especially the 202. That one, I don't know why the judges continue to sign those on these same individuals over and over, but
especially when you know it's a substance abuse issue.
Right? Yeah,
it's not a real mental issue, and that's what the line is: a mental issue, not substance abuse.
But you can see the man hours we get tied up with on those.
Oh, I can imagine.
So we have to go out in wherever in the county and pick them up, then take them they can Zoom it, but we found it's quicker just go straight to comp care and get them. They'll evaluate them, get you out of there quicker if you're sitting there looking at them than they do on the FaceTime or Zoom, whatever you want to call it. And then, like I said, if they're committed, you're looking driving Hazard or Harlan, then dropping them off, then coming back. So it takes up a lot of our department's time dealing with the 202A process.
Says wild to me. And like you said, the emergency protection order. That's pretty wild. I've seen just people being spiteful doing these.
We see that so much. But I don't know how you, and that's the point. I think when it goes to court, they ought to have to not just come and say, I want to drop this. They need to be given reasons and being held accountable for swearing that.
Oh,
you have to swear. You have to swear to that. So they ought to be held accountable for what they swear to.
So no, I agree with you. I think there should be accountability and even punishment if they've just sworn a straight up lie to cause somebody trouble.
Yeah.
I've known people that have had these things done against them, and they're like, "Paul, I haven't done anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I've not done a thing."
Well, some people probably do it just to get free help.
We joke about this, but it is true. The guy that runs my courthouse it's Friday. You get a lot of mental petitions on Friday because they know if you pick them up on Friday, they get the whole weekend. Because if they're sent, they'll have the weekend free.
Yeah.
And we joke about that, but it's true. But Friday. We're going to get about 3 or 4.
We had the same joke, and I'm no longer at the hospital, but I would joke about how every time a holiday come around, you would see the nursing homes clear out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has a UTI around Christmas time or November. They just send them to the hospital. That way they kind of clear the place out a little bit or for the weekend or the holiday. Yeah. And it is a joke, but it does happen a lot.
Yeah. I about got caught in a Ponzi scheme when I was in New York. We was walking down the road and it was getting late. And this homeless guy come up to me and almost in tears, and he was like, "Can you just call me an ambulance? That's all I need." He said, I don't want money. I don't want nothing. He said, "I just want you to call me an ambulance." Well, I've never had that encounter before in my life. So I thought he was seriously hurt or something. I was getting ready to dial 911, and luckily the people I was with, they're from New York. They're like, don't you do it. They're like, if you hit dial, I'll sling your phone plumb across this. I was like, why? And that's when they told me. They was like, he's just looking for free help. And it happens so much up around New York stuff, they'll actually charge you, whoever called. They'll put the bill on you.
Huh. Well, that'll keep people from making false calls, won't it?
Yeah. I was like, God, I'm glad Jens was here, because I would have called because I thought this guy needed help.
All right. So like I said before the break, so Bill, what's going on in the department? You got anything planned going out? Anything new coming? Anything awesome?
No, not really. It's usually just day to day. There's so much we want to do. I mean, I want to. That's where I was getting to earlier, and I think I got sidetracked. But we're answering so many calls that we are so reactive that it's hard to be proactive, and that's where I was getting to. And I must have got off track a while ago because I would love to be more reactive and be able to have the personnel to be out here actively working certain cases, and so hopefully when we get a few more on, we can be a little more proactive and instead of reactive. I was waiting to come here, sitting out the road, and had to run answer a call because everybody else was tied up a while ago. So that'd be my biggest thing. I would like to. And I said this last time I was here, our tax base is what it is in Whitley County. So you can't necessarily fault our leadership, our magistrates, our judges. And I think they're trying, but the only way to fix a lot of the problems is just more money. But where does that money come from? Everybody, I feel like everybody's taxed too much already. But where does that money come from? So
that's what
I'll
kinda
tell you
what we're
something
talking-
great. We've been looking at the new. There's always something the newest and best coming out in law enforcement, and right now, the new optics on firearms. It's like a optic on top of the pistol, like you see red dot in through that. We got last year wanting to replace the department's weapons with this new, because the accuracy of it's been proven is so much better with these, and just anything you can help make your officer safer. And so we applied for a grant trying to get replace. We was going to buy 30 new firearms and holsters with the optics and everything. So that way, everybody in the courthouse, everybody on the road, everybody's is in the same weapons. And so we applied for a grant, and we got awarded that grant, which is going to cover.
That's awesome.
It ain't going to cover it all, but it's going to cover the majority of this new firearms purchase, so it won't be coming out of our tax dollars in Whitley County.
So that's amazing.
We're looking forward to that. Me and Tony was talking about that day. We got a quote last year because we were going to buy them at the end of the year anyway. And then we started looking at this grant, and we was like, well, let's just hold off and apply for that grant. And so we got the letter. We were awarded that. So he's in the process of getting the updated quote. And as soon as we have that quote, we'll be hopefully transitioning those weapons. We trade ours in, and with what they give us, and it's still, you're looking $25,000 anyway, give or take, one way or the other for these weapons. But what people don't understand is the cost it takes to equip one officer, and that number is going to be somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 to equip
one officer,
every officer
annually.
Yeah. Well, not annually. A lot of that, if you hire somebody, you got a pistol, you got rifles, and one thing they'd never had here till I took office. We bought state police. We were furnished backup weapons, and a lot of people carry them, a lot of people don't, but at least we have them if you want to wear them. And there's different places to wear them, and people choose different how to do it. But the sheriff's department never had issued backup weapons, and so we bought new Glock 43s, and all the officers have those for a backup weapon if they choose to carry it as a backup weapon. I'm looking forward to getting everybody in these new pistols. But we're talking about equipment. Just the holster alone for our pistols, well, they won't be for the grant because we're a department and we're buying a bunch of them. But one of my guys had just bought the same gun, same holster and everything. He paid $258 just for the holster.
So that's wild.
The duty holster. So, times that by 30.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. So just for the holster. So let's say $200 because I don't know what we're going to get them for, but it's
$6,000.
Yeah. That yeah. So that's just for a holster. That don't count what the cost of the weapon. So I was excited we got that grant for a big portion of that. So, I don't know. We've just built so much. It's hard to, I forget a lot of times what we have got the guys up to. And Tony, my chief deputy, he'll tell me, we've done this and we've bought this and we've done this and this and this. And I thought, man, you forget about all that because
you're in it.
You're in it. But before I took off, they wasn't doing, their range was very minimal. What they done the minimum they had to do every year to get by, which is very minimum. It's the same thing that somebody has to do to get a concealed weapons license. You shoot 20 rounds.
Right.
And that ain't sufficient for somebody that carries a gun for a living.
Right.
You want them to be. So we, our court security guys hadn't been to the range since they initially were hired. So now everybody, since I've been in office, is put through annual firearms training. And we got a little trailer, and anything range related, because we don't have our own range of where we can have a building to lock stuff up and stuff. So we end up getting a little box trailer, and anything to do with the range is there. We keep it parked there. We go hook to it, go to the range, go downrange, set all of our stuff up, come up here, set our tent up, and it usually 2 or 3 days on the range time you get everybody, and you schedule them at different times so you can work with them. And so proud that we've got that where it's going.
So that's awesome, because
Yeah.
that's off the taxpayers. Because you're working on equipping these people
Yeah.
without taxpayer money.
What these guys have done with our evidence room, and it's still, there's so much in there that needs gone through. There's so much evidence in there that's not even accounted for, that we've been over the years slowly getting rid of when we can. There was stuff that was never logged in, but it's piled back there in boxes. I mean, it's just no way. That's no way to conduct anything,
Anything professional,
right? And so
you say evidence room, and it got me thinking. I know this is going to be one of Ronnie's thoughts. How many cold cases are in Whitley County right now?
let me tell you what's scary. There's no way to know.
Really?
I know one particular case. It was a murder. It's kind of one of them things, we know who done it. You just never could prove it. Now all the parties involved are deceased.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got evidence in the evidence room of cases, but there's no case to go with it. There's no investigations. We don't know where they're at, because a lot of times officers kept their own cases years ago, and so the detective that worked at, he's dead and gone. So we've got evidence of an unsolved murder that's never going to be solved because all the parties we know involved is dead, but there's no paperwork showing what the investigation ever was. And I inherit that. So how do you go back when everybody's dead and there's no paperwork to go with it? And but we got several cases back there that there's evidence back there on these big cases, but there's no case to go with it, and no criminal case to go with it.
See, that's wild.
Yeah, because nothing was.
I can imagine how frustrating that would be, right?
Oh, that evidence room was just is crazy, and it still ain't where we want it. I'll be honest with you, it's so much work, and I'll be honest with you, I could not take you to our evidence room. It's recommended you have two. You have a primary and a secondary on evidence, and the sheriff, it's recommended not be involved in that. Well, see, I have a lot of experience with evidence because I was the administrative sergeant at London for over 3 years, where I handled every piece of evidence that come in for 50 plus officers, but it's the recommendation that the sheriff not even have that way. If something comes up, then I'm not a suspect in it. I do not have a key to our evidence room. I do not have access to the alarm system on our evidence room. And and that's what's recommended by the Sheriff's Association and the Department of Criminal Justice. That way, I do have, if something come up, I can, I guess.
You know what that is? You know what that is?
Accountability.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. But I do want to get in it because I used to enjoy that up there, and there ain't nothing better than getting rid of stuff you don't need. You know how that is. But,
right. I think we're all kind of that person where we like to dig in on something and be like, all right, this is it. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of are analytical. We are.
Tell you something else I'm doing. And, state police, if you promote, you have to go through a long testing. It's all over the state. You don't just test for here. There's one testing, and everybody tests like if it's for sergeant or lieutenant. So you have to study and do it. That's not practical with a small department. It's not. So what happens at most of these small departments, whoever's been there the longest is next in line for promotion. You know how crazy that is when you got somebody just cause
it's called the pecking order.
Yeah, but not that everybody gets it, don't earn it, but you got to do something. So I'm getting ready to promote somebody. I got to have a supervisor and another supervisor. But I sent out a thing to all my guys. If you're interested in this supervisor position, I want you to write me a memo. Here's what I want in it. Tell me how long you've been on, what your experience is. Tell me what your future is. Whatever you want to tell me, put it in there. And we're going to take that in consideration with, okay, who stepped up when we've been in a bind? That's just
right.
And
that's a big deal.
And who does their paperwork? Who does this? And it ain't going to be just because you've been there the longest, you get a promotion. we're going to at least have a process. However that is, of course, it ain't testing like great big departments do, because it just ain't feasible for a 10-man department, you know.
Right.
But we are having I told any of my full-time guys that's interested in this, these are things I want you to do. So I give them the end of the month. Once we get those turned in, we'll see how many we get, and me and Chief Deputy and some more will sit down and go through them and see what we want to see, who we're going to make the new sergeant, you know. So we just want a process. It shouldn't, like you said, it shouldn't be a pecking order.
I agree. I'm not a huge fan of pecking orders either.
And then of course you'll make, well, I've been here longer than them or this or that, but
it pisses people off.
You're trying to get the best candidate for that position, and we're just trying to have a way to do that without just handing it to somebody, you know. So
right, yeah, that next in line stuff, I get it, but at the same time, should somebody that's been working their tail off miss that opportunity because they're not next in line,
right?
You know,
yeah. So I don't know what the answer is, but we're trying to do something anyway.
Well, I mean, the answer is work your tail off if you want a promotion.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the answer. Doesn't matter if you're next in line or first place.
And I tell you one thing I've learned more as sheriff than, well, I knew it at state police, but not to the degree here. And having a loyal employee, that loyalty means a lot, especially in a smaller department like this. And when I say loyalty, you should never, which I would never do anything that we ain't supposed to do.
Right.
But that loyalty don't extend to stuff. If that guy saw me doing something, they should be the first to tell me, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You know?
Right.
But a good loyal employee is hard to beat.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, and we all try to hold one another accountable. It's one of those things where, you know, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have somebody that you can confide in.
And we've had several step up, but I told you earlier, it's vacation season, and like this week, I had 2 off last week, 2 off this week, and it's just been for the last couple of months that way. But one of the things I look at is who stepped up when these shifts were available, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you got some that'll never work them or offer to help you, and you got others guys, hey, I'll cover that, so we're not short. And so that's one of the things I'm looking at too. Who's willing to take on a little extra load, you know.
Well, and, you know, and you had said this earlier. You said 30 guns, 30 clips, or whatever. I don't think people, like when we talk about the people, you're like, we have 2 or 3 deputies maybe out, but it's a broader scope for sheriff.
We have more, yeah, and we have more employees at the judicial center over, and so all those court security guys, they have to be equipped too. You're not to the level that a road deputy does with rifles and cars and and that, like I said, that. But so we actually have more employees in the judicial center than we do on the road, you know. So
no, well, so that's what I wanted to point out. I was like, it's a bigger scope.
Yeah,
you know, you have to handle all that. You're also doing the road crew stuff. You have detectives. You have a lot of folks that count on you to do what's got to be done.
And I tell you what, the absolute biggest job in the sheriff's department is tax season. I mean, you see it, but when October the 1st gets here, the last 3 months of this year is just, it's crazy. And there's so much you got to do. We take in so much money that you got to have good people in there. So last year, literally 2.5 weeks before tax season started, had two disgruntled employees left.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And but we have built that back even stronger than it was, you know. So but you always dread tax season, because to be honest with you, that's the biggest thing and most responsibility at the sheriff's office. Most people just look sheriff's department about the law enforcement, and that's the part I love. And
right.
but that tax season is a beast. And I was, we got put in a bind last year, and I mentioned this last time I was on here. I was able to call John Root and some of these other sheriffs, and they put me in contact with their people who talk to our people, and it's just we built that back.
This October, a lot better than last October.
We built that back stronger than it's been since I've been at the office. And one thing is I kept hearing during the election time, we're gonna hire this lady that's done this and that to fix the problems in the office. Well, trust me, our office in the best shape it's been in since I've been sheriff. So
I read a lot of that too.
Yeah. So
again, that was toward the end, the last few weeks.
Yeah, it got dirty the last few weeks, but I'm real proud of my office crew and what they've done and how they've stepped up. So, but I got a lot of good employees. You really do. I do. I wish we had more employees.
I wish I had never dropped out of college, finished my criminal justice, because I really wanted to go in. Life got in the way. Now I'm too young. So
sorry, I was just reading some of the comments. And stuff.
So who's this month's dumbest
We
criminal?
already talked about it.
Say it again. Leanne didn't get to hear.
The gentleman that was offered a plea deal
that would have got him out of jail.
That would have got him out of jail. That now has a life sentence.
There you go, Leanne. You're welcome.
Watch the whole show, Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne.
You got to go home, there. Remember?
I know.
That's why I done it for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So let's.
Leanne, I did tell him you was above his pay grade there, just so you know.
He 100% did. He said, "Paul, you tell the story of the officer beating someone with their own leg." Do you have a story about that?
Well, that come out during the election time. Apparently, I've been a mean guy in my whole career, and I mean everything in the world was told on me. Well, I told y'all earlier, I chose not to respond to most of that. I'd tell my people, please take that down. Don't respond to that. And so this one lady put on there, I remember back in 2004 when he was a trooper, he pulled a man's leg off and beat him with his own leg. And I hadn't seen it because I wasn't reading that junk on Facebook at the time. They'd say, "Have you read that?" I said, "No, I ain't reading it. I don't read it. Just if I don't read it." But I started laughing. I said, "But I know what they're referring to." And because they said, "How they make this stuff up?" I laughed. I said, "That is funny." I said, "But that ain't completely made up story." So right before you get to Highway 90, where you go to the falls on Cumberland Falls Highway, there used to be a little store there. The building's still there.
On the left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even there. But Trooper Dave Laster, if any of you know, he won't care for me telling his name. He got there, and the guys in the car at the phone booth there, and they're trying to get him out. I don't know if he's driving. I don't know the circumstances, but they're trying to get him out of the car. And he had a Williamsburg officer, and I don't remember which officer with him, came, and the guy's fighting them. They're trying to get him out of the car. Dave grabs him by the leg to pull him out of the car, knowing he had a prosthetic leg, and as he jerked, the guy's leg come off in his hand. So can you just imagine his eyes? Because he said, "Man, it freaked me out." He said, "I wasn't expecting his leg." So his leg come off, but I remember, I said, some things you just got to respond to, and this was funny. So I put a post on there about that, but I wasn't even there, but I guess I got credit for that one too. But, I said I would love to have seen Dave's eyes, because that other guy said you should have seen Dave's face when he done that. So but it's just crazy the stuff people make up on you, and some of it exactly what they're talking about like that, but I wasn't even there. It wasn't even me. It did happen, kind of. He wasn't whipped that I know of with his own leg. I know his leg come off, but
it would be funny to see though.
Yeah, because you're not expecting the person's leg that you don't know is a prosthetic to come off.
So we don't have a crazy real criminal for a month, but we have a man here with 35 years experience. What is the craziest thing you've ever encountered being a police officer?
Man.
And you can't steal Dave's story.
No, that is a pretty crazy one there. You know, I've had a lot of them. You'd think it'd be easy to come to mind, but I don't know. Like, I mean, we've had so many crazy things happen. I'll tell you a funny one on me and another trooper, our sergeant, who was a great guy. And if you got an officers out working, they're going to get complained on. If your officers are sitting around not doing anything, who's going to complain on them, you know? So
Right.
you got to imagine me and this other trooper, we were young troopers. We were arrested at least 20 DUIs a month, you know, and we worked our tail off. Well, you're going to get complaints on you and you're going to get this. So I came out one night and I was out 2 or 3 hours before he was. So soon as that trooper came out, he lived on High Top. He got into it, the guy on the road, and that guy called and complained on him. Well, this trooper's wife was a dispatcher, and she was working. So our sergeant took the call. He said, I'm going to Whitley County. He said, I got to calm them two down. He said, this one ain't been out 15 minutes, and this guy's done calling in complaining on him. So they come to Whitley County. They meet up on the south end of the county, so we decided to go to Gatliff, where they're going to go one way, and I'm going to go the other. Well, they get in a pursuit. Well, I turn. They said they're in pursuit. I turned because they're going to come back to this point where we were at. I turned, and when I turned, this car thought I was turning on it, so I get in pursuit. So we're headed towards each other with two pursuits going at the same time. But my guy wrecks out and flips. They catch their guy. They come to me because I was in a foot pursuit up the side of the mountain about 6 miles up Mud Creek. We get them processed and clear the jail and that. Well, another huge pursuit come from Lake City, Tennessee, across the state line. So we're set up at, I was at the 9 mile marker, and I put the road spikes out, and you don't hold that rope because it will cut your fingers off. So you put it down, you step on it. Well, they got hit, knocked around while I was trying to get them out of the road, and a dually truck on a trailer caught them. They caught under the truck, and I've still got scars.
I see them
from this day. All these scars. 7 out of 10 fingers were, and this one here was halfway through my finger. And so the other trooper had been in that pursuit.
No, this is the same night.
Well, that's where I'm going with this. This is right after we'd just had the 2 pursuits. And so I got my hands laid open. The other trooper that he was with, he just dropped the sergeant off. So sergeant's in his own car this time. He gets in front of the guy, and the guy rams him. And when he does, he locks it down, gets him to a stop. The pursuit ends. So in 3.5 hours in one county, we had 3 pursuits. One trooper's car was tore up, and me and him both in the ER because he'd got hit from the bad guy in 3.5 hours. And sergeant had to work all this, of course, and he gets back to post, and she said, I thought you was going down there to calm them down. He said, I'm never going back to Whitley. It's hard to believe in 3.5 hours.
That is wild.
We had a cruiser tore up, 2 troopers in the ER, and 3 pursuits.
And somebody coming to calm a situation.
Yeah, he's going to come calm us down. He got down here and saw firsthand that it's the environment we work in. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but them are the things that should make people want to stay in it.
Oh, they are. That's the fun stuff, you know. A lot of the stuff you get into, and I saw a video the other day I hadn't seen in years. I ain't even got a copy of it, and I saw a guy had posted it on Facebook that used to be a trooper, and but there's just things you get involved in, and this guy tried to say a guy ran from us when I was a trooper in Knox County, and he about run us over at a road check, took off running. I get in pursuit of him, and he passes the road up. He's wanting to turn, and we're like way up Stinking Creek over there.
Okay.
Instead of keep going, he bails out on foot. Well, he's running across the bridge. I start following him. Then he turns down by the creek, and when he does, I'm just going to let him wear himself out. He's running. I'm not. I'm driving.
Right.
And then once he's tired, I'll jump out and run him down. When he turned off down by this little nasty little road down by the creek, this little path, he tripped and fell under the front of my cruiser, and I ran over him. And it should have killed him. I thought he was dead, and he was treated and released at the hospital. And that was I saw that posted the other day. I said, man, I ain't got a copy of that. Where did that come from? You know, but those are things right there. When they got him to the hospital, he's telling my supervisor I intentionally ran him over, and thank goodness we had back in the day we didn't have body cameras. We had car cameras. They were actually the cameras up here and everything run to a lockbox in the trunk. There's actually VHF tapes back then. So thank goodness I had it on there, and it showed him trip and fall, and I didn't. But he was telling him, no, he run up there and just run me over for no reason. And so I'm a big fan of our cameras, just to be honest with you, our body cameras.
So what was your initial thought when you ran that man over?
It was,
Oh,
I mean,
damn.
I'll be honest with you. I'd only been on 2 years state police at the time, but I heard him scream and I could feel him hit the floorboard of my car under my seat.
Sure, I bet you felt it in your chest.
And
just your heart drop.
I mean, there's times we get involved in shootings in this, but you never want to see anybody get hurt, like that. And in my mind, I'm thinking he's dead. I just ran over this guy, but he got up and tried to get away. Then another trooper come in behind me, and I got out, and he wasn't laying there. And he had went through the weeds, and there's a bank there, and he was trying to get up that bank. And we grabbed him. He tried to pull a pistol on us at that point.
Oh, wow.
And so, thank goodness he didn't get to shoot neither one. But he tried to pull a pistol on us after I ran over him. But
I'd like to know how he lived.
I don't have a clue how he lived, and he wasn't hurt over.
Was he on any kind of substance?
I'm sure he was. I mean,
that would explain how he.
I'm sure he was. I don't remember all.
That dirt gets soft next to lakes anyway.
Oh,
It
whatever.
does.
Creeks and this and that.
He had some obvious leg injuries. So I don't know. If you look at the camera, it looks like his head fell under my front tire. But I don't know if when he fell and he spun around, I don't know. But I've been involved in so much over my career, stuff like different things.
Have you seen that they're fixing, or they started to release this, what is it called? The Gray Line or something like that?
The Gray Gods. That series.
Yeah.
I did watch that.
What do you think about that?
I mean,
it paints a pretty negative picture mostly, don't it?
It does, but you're seeing it not upholding these officers that do wrong, but even a justified use of force, something that we're trained to do, and a justified use of force looks bad to the general public that's not trained in that, you know? So a lot of that you're seeing, of course, some of them is just out of control and do stuff that they shouldn't. You can't uphold that behavior. You got to hold them accountable. But it was made from they had a narrative they were making, and they didn't show all the videos of what they had done before. It's kind of like the Rodney King video. They never did show the part where he had the officer picked up by the throat, and so you can't uphold some of that stuff, and then some of it you can see, and
it's not full context.
Yeah. And I saw the one in Clay County. That's on part 6 of that. I have dealt with people that are they're so out of control and violent, you can't do nothing with them. And if you watch that, there's like 3 of them. They were hitting him with a stick. He still wasn't stopping. I mean, he'd still trying to get up. And if you could hear, you're going to hear them. They're giving him commands to stop. But so I've been there. We had one this here. I had a female, and I've got an officer who's in heck of a shape. She ran from him on scene. He got her back to the car, got her cuffed. She slipped her cuffs, got into it. He had his ass out, and he dropped it. Well, he's trying to wrestle with her. He can't see it. And we see it from body cam. She had sat on it. He didn't know it. She got come up and hit him, split his head open. He's bleeding really bad. Female officer gets there, and when I pull up, I see both of these officers on this female, and I watch her physically. And if you saw her, you're like, there's no way. She was on her back, them on her, trying to get her rolled over, get her hammer. Both feet on the ground. She lifts her whole hips and stuff up with both of them officers on her. Her little old girl. And people, until you've actually dealt with that, and you're thinking, you're like, ain't no way I can manhandle that little girl.
Yeah, that's not the truth.
I had one Friday. I had one of my lieutenants with it, runs the courthouse. He went on call. We'd went up to the state line on something. We got another call, pull up, and this woman ain't big as nothing, and she had dope. And I said, "What's in your hand behind you?" And she tried to throw it. She did throw it. Then I grabbed on her, but we had to physically force her in handcuffs. And you're like, "Well, she ain't strong enough to do nothing." But it's unreal when they're.
No, we've had them, and this was again hospital stuff, security. But we had them come in on the Flocka and stuff when the Flocka was big around here or whatever, and they'd be 100 pounds. And they'd be burning up, like they'd be sweating like crazy, and we'd have 500 pounds of men laying on them, and them still fighting to get out.
Yeah,
like you would think it would flatten them. No,
it's
because and that's all we could do was to kind of lay on them to kind of calm down, lay here, da 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 da. Not we can't handcuff anybody or anything. We had to lay on them and wait for medication to be administered to them to kind of calm them down or whatever.
That's because some of these drugs brings out the real human strength.
The real,
that's right. We're all suppressed.
But back to those videos, you can uphold the bad behavior, but then you also got to look and say you got to uphold them where they deserve to uphold them. So, as far as my department here, we're going to hold our people accountable, but on the same token, when you call in and complain and you want to file a complaint that my officer's done this and we prove they didn't, we're going to have their back 100. But don't expect me to get on my guys when they're not in the wrong. So
my brother caught me off hook.
That's that stuff is I know a couple of your officers and they love you.
Yeah.
They love you. Like you've got a good group of people around you.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that they said is, listen, Bill's by the book. If you're doing what you should do, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. He's got you. You get outside of that.
Yeah.
Then.
Well, you can't have it. I've said this before. You can't have it one way or the other. You can't always have your officer's back if he's in the wrong, and you can't have it the other way either. I mean, you gotta hold them accountable, but also have their back. So you can't just always hold them. You always can't just have their back. Sometimes you gotta hold them accountable for what they're doing. And if you want, we've had guys that come and we got a way we're going to do things here, paperwork wise, otherwise, whatever wise it is. And if you don't want to stick to the standards that we're setting, as Tony said it best, go be successful somewhere else.
Right.
So, and we got people, I need a deputy right now. And, but I tell them all the time, if you're going to have trouble out of this guy or that guy or whoever it is that it wants to come, and they're going to be issues, why hire them? It's just going to cause you a headache. I'd rather work the shift myself than to have to.
I've always been that kind of person too. I've always been kind of somebody who just kind of stay away from Debbie Downers. If you're complaining about doing what, and this is funny about jobs. I understand we all don't have a job that we love, but that job is providing for you. It's providing for your family. You should be thankful that you have a job. Come in that job with an attitude of, man, I'm glad I've got this. I'm glad we're getting to eat today. Man, my kids are really enjoying these shoes. They're really enjoying that. Be thankful you have a job. And if you don't like the job, move on.
Yeah.
Don't come in and complain about it all the time. Do your job.
Yeah. It's, it ain't like it used to be. Like I said before, like at state police, we were over our dispatchers. I have no control over the 911 center. They done away with the, they even done away with the board. They used to have a 911 board. Had member from Corbin PD, Williamsburg PD, the Whitley County Sheriff's Department, state police. I was a representative as a lieutenant at state police, but they done away with that. So here, the 911 center here handles all the calls. It sends my officers everywhere, but I have no say on the 911 over the 911 center. I was going somewhere with that and completely lost my direction. But
we were talking about having good employees.
Oh yeah, and but it's just there's so many things that we get tasked with at the sheriff's office that we have no control over. Giving you another example, the judges issue these juveniles detained, and they're going to be released next Monday at 2:00. They're going to be released from the juvenile facility in Breathitt. You should be going and picking your kid up when he's released. And that's the way a lot of places are. But then we're ordered. We have to go pick them up and bring them back to the parent. I mean, we get so much. It's like I saw, if nobody knows who to do it, we'll give it to the sheriff's department to do.
See, that's bad, especially for the department that,
Yeah,
like you said, you only have a few people running.
yeah, it's and there's a lot of frustrating parts of it. But somebody asked me today, and I don't remember if it's here beforehand or what, but I do believe I always wanted to be a state trooper, and that's what I got to be in my career. Thought nothing would ever top that, but being the sheriff has been the biggest honor of my career. And whether I come in 4 years ago, or when I ran 4 years ago, I said, if I do this, I want to do 2 terms. And at the end of that second one, towards the end of that second, I'll decide if I want to run for a third. I'd never do past 3. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to start my second term in January, and probably about 3 years into that, I'll make a decision if I'm done or if I'm going to do one more. But I'm doing just what I said 4 years ago.
What's really tough is, and I don't mean to pack of songs, we're already past 9 o'clock, but we don't have the questions asked. So just it's really tough to hang it up once you got it the way you want it.
Yeah.
And you can't do it in 4 years.
No.
You can't do it in
You
4
can't do it in
years.
4 years. I believe in term limits, but I don't know where that is.
And once you finally get a good department with everything, and that's kind of what John Root was saying. He goes, I've finally got all the wheels working just like they need to, because it's tough.
And then if you get in there and you see somebody that you know has not a clue, and they're going to take over what you've built, and within 6 months it's going to be back to what it was before, when you got it, before you took over, and you've built this and you've done this, and you see somebody that doesn't have a clue wanting this job, and you're thinking, man, I hate to have to turn over what I've built to somebody that's just going to put it right back to where it was at before you took office.
Right. And I'm not saying this in any certain way, but I mean, Laurel County had 3 or 4 people that had never even been in law enforcement running for sheriff. And you want to leave it in better hands than you found it, or you want progress.
I mean, who do you want a plumber? It's never plumbed before coming to your house. I mean, it's crazy, but anybody can run for sheriff. Anybody can run for any of these positions. And, it's crazy. Tennessee finally, a few years ago, through the state, they added things. And I don't remember what all they are, but one of them's like you had to be a certified police officer for 3 of the last 10 years or 4 of the whatever the time was. But there needs to be something changed in the Constitution or statutes here in Kentucky.
I don't disagree with that. I think the sheriff should have some kind of.
You got to have some type of experience. You should. I mean, you got sheriffs. They're not even certified police officers, and that's scary.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up the show. We don't have to ask the questions now. We know how Bill feels about aliens, paranormal, and Bigfoot, and we've not had to call him about a Bigfoot sighting yet. Guys, we're going to have him back on next month. We're going to try to do maybe the 3rd Monday of every month to see if we can bring him on if he's available.
Well, I will start keeping up with the dumbest criminal from the time I was here till the next time I'm here. We'll try to keep up with that.
That'd be a good idea.
That'd be awesome, because we'd love to hear those stories.
All right.
So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have we got anything going on, guys?
Thanks for having me.
Not at the moment that I know of.
All right.
I can't think of nothing.
So, have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.